Hey everyone, Rico Rivera here with Silicon East Real Estate powered by Keller Williams. And I have an awesome lady with me today. She's another friend of mine. She's actually a real estate agent as well, but we're talking about kids,
Yep.
parents, all that good stuff. Analyn, you want to introduce yourself for us?
Sure. Good morning, Analyn Miller. I'm at a EG right outside of Sacramento, and I am a parent of 7 kids, and I also do real estate.
That's awesome. So, you know, this pandemic is crazy. And more importantly, our kids are at home.
Yeah.
And I thought of you for 2 reasons. Number one, because you have a book out, Play to Their Strengths, and then you're coming out with another book, Incredible Parents, and you have 7 kids.
Yes.
So let's talk
Let that sink in.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about, first of all, Play to Their Strengths, the book Play to Their Strengths, because I think it makes a huge in people's lives. Please explain what that book is about.
Okay, awesome. So essentially, love with Brandon and I years ago. I want to say now it's been like 4 years. And the whole premise of it is that we have this ingrained way of parenting, and also in terms of life, you know, where we want to fix faults. We want to get better by fixing what's wrong. And so we kind of flipped that on its head and said, what if we focused on what was right with our kids? What if we focused on what we did well? What if we focused on what we enjoyed, what we were passionate about, and you know what we really glean the most from? And the other things you don't, you know, like I want to also know, it's not like you ignore things that maybe you're growing in or you're not as strong in. It's just putting more emphasis on playing to the strengths of people.
Now, this is something you guys. I mean, I know your husband is the owner, founder, CEO of Strengths Finders, right?
Yeah, he's the CEO of his own company called 34 Strong, and they are Clifton strength-based, you know, consulting company. And so they do practice this with management, more so upper level management in companies, making it a culture of a company. Long story short, but so this was something that we were already living in our home, and we decided to write about it. That's how it all started.
That's amazing. So tell us a little bit about what Incredible Parents is going to be about, and when that's coming out. That's coming out later this year or next year?
Yes. Actually, it comes out January 4th. Woo! So, I mean, honestly, like in the world right now, it couldn't have been a better time to set up for a book release like this, with parents literally home full-time, working with kids, doing homeschool, and not just that, but there's so many activities now that people can't do. So you're around each other a lot. This book really just focuses on parenting strengths. So it's called Incredible Parent. And so you could actually go onto our website, incrediblefamily.com, go onto the homepage, and you can actually take an assessment. So during this whole process, there actually have been 2 assessments created. Brandon and I and a partner of ours that created these assessments. And you can find out what your Super 6 are. So, and then the book really goes through what it means to have these strengths, how you might use them practically. It's super hands-on. I think for me, like one of the things that I really wanted to make sure happened was it was really practical. I know I've read parenting books before, and you read it and you're like, okay, that was great. But sometimes you need like 1, 2, 3. How do I now implement that into my home? Or how do I show up? You know, if that is my strength, how am I showing up? How am I using it? And so I love the practicality of the book. And I think it's really going to help parents enjoy, like our whole purpose of it was people enjoy parenting. We want people to enjoy parenting. It's a huge undertaking, right? It's one of the things, one of the gifts that we all have is to raise another human. And we want to make them the best human possible. And that's what it's all based on. So why not be the best parent, right? You're going to raise a beautiful
so let's talk a little bit. Give us some examples of what you've used in your home with your kids that can help everybody else right now through this pandemic. I mean, you have 7 kids. I think 3 of them or 4 of them are already married, but you still have what, 3 or 4 little kids?
Yeah. So here's something really practical, and it's kind of funny, but like even when it comes to chores, most of the time we will say, you must do this or you must do that. Well, before we separate chores up, we actually ask them, like, what do you enjoy doing? So you'll find that I have a kid that loves doing dishes, one that loves doing outside work, one that, you know what, I really like organizing. So rather than separating chores out without any, method, why don't you stop and go, what do you really enjoy doing? I mean, it's small, but it's revolutionary, because we all know that even that little thing, chores, how many arguments or, disruptions or time investment, and like, you didn't do this, you didn't, we spend so much time doing that. And if it's something they love and enjoy, you're not going to have that same pushback, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot.
That's one quick, simple, small example.
That is huge. I like that. Okay. What are you doing now with this pandemic, with distance learning and your kids being at home probably 24/7 now? What is your household like?
So it's interesting. So Brandon went from being on the road a third of the year, like 150 days a year, he was on the road traveling the U.S. He went from that to being home full time, doing all of meetings via Zoom like we're doing today. So he's actually has a whole setup in our master bedroom because it's private, it's closed, and it's away from everyone. I have an office upstairs, a large one that I share with my 10-year-old, who often, needs more help than everyone else. So he's at a desk, I'm at a desk. Then we've got our 13-year-old set up in his room, the 17-year-old set up in her room, and then the 15-year-old set up in her room. Everyone's on their own computers. School starts at 8.
So you guys are all like just ready. What are you doing in the morning? You wake up, everybody gets breakfast. I mean, does that even happen?
It happens. I made toast for Daniel today because he got onto a Zoom call a little late, so I had to hook him up. But yeah, I mean, it's I would say it's 50-50. It's pretty quiet. We've learned that we have to keep things quiet too, because I'm on calls like this, Brandon's on calls. So it's actually really peaceful in the house. The TV's not on during the day. Everyone's in their spaces doing what they need to do, respecting each other's space. So it's actually been very good so far.
Did you feel like this is a totally different subject, or I don't know, do you feel like there was a time since you first had your first 2 kids or 3 kids, there was a time where more kids helped out than having less kids?
Of course. Yeah, I loved it when I got babysitters.
When your daughters were like teenagers or what?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But it's full. It's a lot. I mean, it is a lot of work. I won't lie. I mean, having a big family, we went through those times where literally, it was, easily 6 to midnight every day because there was so much going on with all their activities, schoolwork, different schools we were shuttling them to. And I mean, we're still busy. So now 4 feels easy compared to the 7 at home.
That makes sense. Give us a few tips that you have from your family and what you've done that maybe can help another family, one of our audience, that has maybe 2 or 3 kids or 4 kids that really, really helped you and kind of revolutionized your household when you did this. A few tips.
So, okay, I'm going to give one that's kind of more broad, but I'm bringing it up because my son actually asked me about it this morning. So we have been doing family vision board nights together. We do them annually, And so my son just asked me this morning, because my husband and I keep ours up. He goes, when are we doing our vision boards again? Because he knew like the year was coming to that end. We do them in like November, October, November. And I will say this, even if you have a young child, I really, really encourage you to do it. I mean, when we first had our, the youngest one was, I want to say 6 or 7 when he did his first one. And we always keep them and whatnot. And it's really amazing what you learn about your kids when you give them the free reign and opportunity to say, who am I? What do I like about myself? What do I want to be? How do I see my future? We just tell people there's no rules. It just has to be positive. And then everyone gets to explain their board to one another. I feel like that has been huge with our family because it allows people to share with you things that maybe they have in their heart or they've never shared before. And you may not have ever learned it, hadn't done that project together. So I think it was one thing that we always look forward to. And we bring up, you know, you can go back to it and go, oh man, that thing you put on your board, you're doing it. Or we're seeing this come to fruition. So start them young. Like I said, even if you have toddlers, it could be really simple at first and then you watch it grow.
That's amazing. And I love vision boards. So maybe me and you can come out with a date that we do vision boards with our sphere. And then we'll throw like a little vision board party on Zoom and have everybody in their families do vision boards at their home too.
I would love it.
Magazines here ready for that because me and my family said we were going to do it. We haven't done it. And I'd be looking forward to doing that with my kids, with my wife and kids. That'd be awesome.
It's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, for those of you guys out there, I'm going to send her information out for the book, for her website. You know, if you haven't read Play to Their Strengths, you might want to check that out. That's on Amazon, right?
Yep.
You can get it on Amazon. And then Incredible Parent comes out January 4th, right?
Correct. And actually, Brandon and I also had the audio version published. So if you're an audiobook person, him and I actually did the audiobook. So, you know, I've actually listened to my book on audio because I need it too. Here's the thing, even though you participated in writing something, you know, you realize there's times that I have struggles or that I'm like going, okay, I'm not seeing this right, or why, you know, the joy right now. And I go back to my book all the time.
Very cool. Well, I look forward to your next book. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I know I'm a parent. It's kind of hard out there, and we have to do what we have to do for our kids. So check it out, everyone. Take care, everyone. See you next episode.
Thanks. Bye, Rico.
Bye.